Nerd alert! Let's talk books today. So my goal in 2025 was to read 25 books. I did not do that. But I did read 12 books. Yes, I just finished filming a video, but I realized that I actually read another book that I forgot to put in my story graph. But 13 is an unlucky number, so I'm gonna stick with 12. But I will be putting that book somewhere in this video. I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Out of all the 12 books I read, I only disliked one, The Women by Kristin. Stinks. It honestly left a really bad taste in my mouth. Whenever Vietnamese people were mentioned in the book, it was just sort of as like a supporting stand for whatever the character was going through. It felt very white savior-esque. Even so, the first half of the book was still interesting in a way because she did talk about the medical side of things and surgeries and working under pressure. The second half of the book just dragged and dragged and dragged. Ultimately, I gave it a 3.0. I was really disappointed. Next, and it breaks my heart to say this, but it was The Final Curtain by Keigo Higashino. Keigo Higashino is an amazing author. Malice, The Devotion of Suspect X, Newcomer, amazing books. There's no books like it. So The Final Curtain was still good. When you're comparing something to the epitome of Japanese mystery literature, you know, it's gonna fall a little short. Just wasn't my favorite. Next is Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel. I thought the premise of this book was super interesting, especially post-COVID. Really interesting to think about this world where a virus wipes out 3/4 of the population. It really helped me appreciate the work that people do to keep society afloat. I was really curious about what was going to happen, but I think about halfway or 3/4 of the book, it sort of was just like she got in a little over her head. It left some things to be desired. There were some aspects of the book that she just sort of mentions and then never really fleshes out, so it kind of leaves you hanging. Next is Dark Matter. I read this book in less than a day. I finished it within my 8-hour shift. It was so good in terms of the story. Same with Station 11. It didn't really flesh out some things that you were really hoping it would. There were a few plot holes. He sort of glossed over some things that I could tell he just didn't want to touch.
I don't want to do it. I want to go home. Like, I can't take the pressure of it. But don't you think any job interview...
It was still a great book, but it's one of those books where you finish it and you're like, oh, that was good, and then you never think about it again. Next is Educated by Westover. This was a really interesting read. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's about a girl who grows up in a very non-conventional family. Her dad is very paranoid, doesn't believe in the government or education. And it's a real story. It's an autobiography. So it was really interesting to read about circumstances that people are raised in that are just insane. The writing was really well done. I was really captivated. One-time read type of deal. Next is The Underground Railroad by Colson, Whitehead. This is a classic book in American literature. There's a movie out about it. It talks about a very dark period of American history that we do need to talk about. I didn't really enjoy the magic aspect of it, the railroad being a real railroad. I think my expectation as I started to read this book was to gain insight into the Underground Railroad, learn how they were able to transport these people, but also there's plenty of books out there about the real Underground Railroad. The Five People You Meet in Heaven by Mitch. I liked this book. I did have really high expectations for it, which isn't fair. I thought I would read this book and my life would be changed. But I don't really remember too much of it. It was just sort of like, okay, like this is a nice way to think about life. I should remember this, but then I didn't. I think it's a cool book. I would suggest it to people, but I wouldn't recommend it. Okay, now we can move on to books that I really like. Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor. This was the first book I read in 2025, and I feel really lucky that it was. This book was written by a psychologist who survived a concentration camp in Nazi Germany. There's a quote at the end of the book that has stuck with me, and I know it will stick with me for the rest of my life. I actually even hand wrote it on a post-it and put it on my wall, and that quote is, "For the world is in a bad state, but everything will become still worse unless each of us does his best." After I finished this book, I looked online to see what other people were saying. Some of the reviews were questioning the validity of his stay in the concentration camp. I think the best way to look at it is this is a man who went through something that no one should ever have to go through, and he still found the strength to relive it, reflect on it, and reply. I think it's a book that everyone can learn a thing or two from, no matter who you are. It's a book that everyone should read at least once in their lives. Next is Little Fires Everywhere by Celeste. I loved this book. This book was so amazing. It's even crazier because it's based in an area of Ohio where I used to live or live nearby. It's very character driven. You could tell she spent so much time and effort and love into developing these characters. None of them were perfect, but you were still rooting for them in the end. It was brilliantly done. I enjoyed every second of it. When I finished it, I was sad. I wanted there to be more. And I'm a sucker for romance, so I love the trope that she had in this book.
Let's go!
were some lines in there that I would have to pause. I was like, how can someone come up with words like this? And now, drum roll please. Our 5.0. I am now going to announce 5-star reads. Number 4 is The Nickel Boys, also by Colson, Whitehead. I actually read this first before Underground Railroad. The Nickel Boys is based off of a real historical event in the 1960s about an all-boys institution in the South. It's a harrowing story. I really appreciate Mr. Whitehead for taking the time to write this book and educate us. I think what Whitehead does, and he did this too with Underground Railroad, even though these stories are tragedies and devastating, the way he writes the characters, the way he plans out his story, he manages to keep the characters' integrity. Books like these just remind us that we can never let it happen again. Next is My Name is Asher Lev by Chaim Potok. Hopefully I said that right. This is a book about an artist in New York who is also an Orthodox Jew. It's really crazy to me when I read books like this that are sort of simple. As you accompany Asher Lev throughout his life, you're rooting for him and you just want the best for him. Asher Lev is just a character that really sticks to you. It's always really crazy to me when I'm able to find a book like this that has me so connected to a person that doesn't really exist. I hope Asher Lev is doing all right. Number 2 is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. Wow, talk about a book.
Talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique, completely not ever been done before, unafraid to reference or not reference.
I don't even know where to begin. James Baldwin is an insane man. I don't know how someone can write the way that he does. To me, honestly, it felt like every page was dripping with honey. What really stands out about James Baldwin is his rhythm. It really almost feels like a song. You feel like you're skipping. Oh, that book, wow. Just talking about that book makes me feel so riveted and alive. I honestly feel like the cover. I feel like this guy. It's about a black couple in New York who fall in love and just how their life goes. The book just feels so alive. The characters feel so alive. You feel like your heart is beating with theirs. It almost feels personal. It's a book I would recommend to anyone and everybody. And now what you've all been waiting for, my favorite book of 2025. The winner is The Things They Carried by Tim O'Brien. Ugh. Golly, that book has stamped itself onto my heart. I actually remember when I first held that book in my hand. I was at my local library. I remember my first impression was, wow, this book is tiny. I think about this then, I shit you not, I remember sitting down, opening the book, reading the first sentence, thinking, fuck, this is gonna be a good book. If Baldwin was like honey, I think Tim O'Brien was like brick and mortar. Every sentence holds its own. It's hard, it's hitting, and it builds on top of each other. He's very precise, very intentional. You could not take a single word out of this book. Think of it exactly like a house. If you take one brick out, the whole thing could topple over. I'm a very fast reader, and so when I read books, I read the sentence. With this book, I read the word. Does that make sense? Every word meant something to me. It did something to me. It like gave me a pang. It's one of those books where every chapter is its own story but still builds upon itself. When you're reading that book, that's when you really think, okay, some people were meant to write. They were just meant to write, and Tim O'Brien is one of those people. And I really hope I can become even a fraction of the writer that he is. Those are the 12 or 13 books that I read in 2025. I am really proud of myself. The years before 2025, I was not reading that many books a year, and I want to continue to read for 2026. I don't know who's going to enjoy listening to my opinions on books, but I really enjoyed sitting here and talking about it, and I hope this inspired someone to read if you were thinking about it. Also, before I go, I want you to peep my shirt. It has yet to hit the streets, so you're actually the first to see me in it. As always, thank you for watching, and here's to reading 14 books in 2026. This will not be the last time you see me sitting on the floor and talking and talking and talking, so I will see you the next time.